Good morning everyone and welcome back to my channel. This video marks another part of the series restoring myself back into a human after a 12-hour shift. Today I already, as always, prepped my eyes. I did my eyebrows, I added some highlighter on my eyes and marked the waterline with the black eye pencil. To create my eye look, I'm gonna use that Dragon's Eye palette by the indie brand What's Up Beauty. It's one of my most beloved palettes. As you can see, it's well loved. It contains really beautiful mattes and stunning multi-chromes. It is still available on their website, What's Up Beauty, and also at Monolith EU. And it's worth a try. I do grab myself a handful of fresh makeup brushes and start the look by first going into this shade. It's called Breath, and this I will apply on almost all my eyelid. It's a beautiful color and it's well pigmented without being too pigmented. So this is what the first step, aka the first layer of colors, looks like. For a lot of people this would be already more than enough for an eye look, and as you can see, this already freshened up my looks in a very agreeable way. I think there still is a huge misconception among people about reddish or orangey or pink-like rosy eyeshadows that makes the people believe that you look ill or like a white rabbit or like having some eye condition or something if you use those red-related colors. But this again shows it is absolutely untrue. Those colors, orangey, tangerine colors or pinky colors, have you look so fresh, and I think this first step already made me look way fresher than before. And so if you are a person who does not like to step into really wild makeup routines, this could already be a nice look for you. But I'm gonna take it further. I do not want to create something exceptionally wild today, so I go in with this light brown next. The color is called Creature and also very beautiful. I took it on a fresh brush and start applying it in the crease. So as you can see, this color is only a tiny little bit darker than the orangey color I used first, and that step has only been done to somehow sculpt the eyes a tiny little bit, and I think it did a good job. The next step is also done on sculpting purposes, and for this I take a smaller brush and dip into this shade. It's called Smoke, and I'm going to apply it here and there to create a bit darkness there and some sort of a cat eye shape. I just dab it in the corners. Can you see what I did there? Next I take the brush I used in the shade Creature again and just blend the Smoke shade in with a little more of the Creature shade to give it a smooth appearance all over. So this is what the eye look looks like after finishing the application of the matte shades and blending them in. I usually do my complexion, especially my under eye, after applying eyeshadows, but as the last step in applying the eyeshadows will only be adding very bright glitter shades, I will do my under eye now, because if I have fallout from the bright glitter shades, I would like it to stay there. So here you can see the finished under eye. I only used the tiniest amount of that Catrice under eye brightener, and a little bit of this Laura Geller French Vanilla highlighter, which is not shimmering enough for me to be a highlighter, but it's very good in the under eye area to just lighten it up a tiny little bit. At my age, with mature skin, you have to be very careful with what you put under your eyes. If you create too much coverage down there, it will look like plaster cast, and it won't be very flattering. So I am always really careful with applying covering products in my under eye region as well as on my whole complexion. So let's go on with the eye look. To sparkle it up, I'm going to use this shade here. It's called Fly, and I'm going to apply it with my finger. It's a very bright multi-chrome shade, wet looking as you can see, and it's somehow light blue with tiny hints of rosy and green sparkles, and it is really beautiful. And I also do use this shade as an inner corner highlight. I use a very tiny brush for it. For the outer corner of the look, I'm going to use this shade. It's called Myth, and I will also apply this one with my fingers. So this is what the finished eyeshadow look looks like. And the quality of those What's Up Beauty multi-chrome shades is really outstanding, and everyone who hasn't tried them yet should give them a try because they are just amazing. This is also a stage of an eye look that you could just leave like that and only add some mascara and a tiny bit of liner if you were not as bold as me in your choice of makeup looks. But for me, this is not a look yet, since it does not have any bold eyeliner, and this is what I'm gonna add now. And as always, I'm going to use my NYX Epic Wear eyeliner and a mirror. Here I am with the finished eyeliner, and while the eyeliner dries down, I'm gonna turn to my complexion. And today I will use the Rosy She Glam powder. Insta Ready is the name. And I'm gonna use the loose powder side and not the pressed powder side. I am all bathed in powder dust now, but this I have been all my life, and I don't care about that. Only the tiniest amount of face powder is usually what I do. Most of the times I use the Laura Geller powder foundation in the shade Fair, but today I think with that rosy eye look I will apply a rose-colored powder. I usually never use any cream foundation products or anything of the kind because I really do not believe in coverage on mature skin. It only adds texture and undesirable clumpy looks, and I think this amount of powder is more than enough. If you have any situations on your skin that make coverage necessary, be sure to only use it in the areas where the coverage is needed, and don't put a covering product on all your complexion because it never looks good. At least in my opinion, it never does. Next step for me is bronzer. And for bronzer and blush, I'm going to use the Tuscan Dreams palette by Laura Geller. I really can recommend Laura Geller products for mature skin. And in this case, I first use the Roman Holiday bronzer. I take it on a bronzer brush and add it over the whole face in all the areas where the sun would usually hit you, and under the chin and in the jawline, to just sculpt those areas. Where you apply your bronzer to sculpt the face is an individual choice. I like to have it here and here on the nose and in this area, but if you have another face shape than me, you would maybe better apply it here or anywhere else, but not in the places I apply it. But my way to apply the bronzer is just coming out of my experiences with it and how I want my face shape to be enhanced. The next step is gonna be blush. It also comes from the same palette and is called Starfish Island. The blush situation is the same like with the bronzer. I like to apply it on the nose, on the apples of my cheeks, and a tiny bit on my forehead. But if you want other areas in your face to just be freshened up, you just can apply it where, out of your experience, your blush looks best. And now it's highlighter time. I'm going to use my Fenty Beauty Rave highlighter. That is best applied with your fingers. It's a quite subtle highlighter. The consistency is amazing, and it just gives the tiniest bit of a rose gold glow. Next is going to be lip liner, and you know me enough by now to know that I only use the Gone Great lip liner by Maybelline. It is just the thing with nude looks. And for lipstick, I use my second best love of lip products. It's the Maybelline Seductress Matte Ink, and it is nearly as beautiful as the L'Oreal one I usually use. It looks like this, and this literally stays on all day. So if I want my lipstick to stay on the whole day, I always go for that, because I can be sure that I do not have to repeat the lipstick routine at any time of day. Now my eyeliner has dried down and I'm gonna apply lashes. I insert the lash in my favorite lash tool, apply the glue on the lash band and the well-known dots on my eyelid, and then it has to dry down. Once it has dried down, I apply the lash and adjust it with my fingers. Very nice. I always apply them very close to my own lashes, but in the outer corner I lift them up a bit, all to open up the eyes a bit more. At my age, it's more than necessary. So here we are. This is the finished look. I hope you like it, and I always hope that you might get some interesting hints or tips concerning products or techniques or things I use for yourself. This is one of the purposes why I'm doing this channel, and I need to do my nails now, because as I am doing them on my own, I allow myself the luxury to do it every 2 weeks so that they always look perfect. I bought some new shellac colors the other day that I'm gonna try, and I'm gonna show you the result maybe tomorrow or the day after. And concerning my hair, I did nothing about it today other than washing it and having it air dried, and I did the convenient thing and just pushed them back with a pair of sunglasses. And with this, I always thank you for watching. I wish you a very nice time and would be happy if you would join again. Thank you, bye.